GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, I'm Lauren Dupuis. We'll start with blue-collar workers threatening a strike as the cycling worlds roll into town, plus moderate traffic delays across the city. Later, Via Rail unveils a new multimodal hub in Dorval and will spotlight Le Petit Pain on St. Denis. Ryan, what do you make of that?
Yesterday, the Canadiens beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 at the Bell Centre, securing their third win this season.
The victory featured forward Jonathan Drouin scoring 2 goals and assisting once, contributing heavily to the Canadiens' offensive performance.
Goalie Jake Allen recorded 35 saves, allowing only 2 goals, maintaining a save percentage above 99% for the match.
All right, let's get into it. Our top stories are coming up shortly after this quick sports update. Here are our top stories. Montreal's blue-collar workers, without a collective agreement since 2025, are threatening a strike over contract and wage demands ahead of the UCI Road World Championships in September 2026. Marion Kate has the full story.
Construction crews, sanitation staff, and transit mechanics across the city are warning they will walk off the job if the municipality does not meet their contract demands before the UCI Road World Championships in September 2026. The union representing these blue-collar employees says they have been operating without a collective agreement since 2025, and they are pressing for higher wages and other concessions. City officials have said negotiations are ongoing, but have not disclosed a timeline for a new deal. The potential strike looms as the city prepares to host the international cycling event, which could cause service disruptions for residents and visitors. Marion Kate, GMNA News, Montreal.
City officials confirmed that a vacant downtown building collapsed in June, adding to a growing list of unsafe structures across the island. The incident, reported by La Presse and cited by urban safety analyst Elise Lecadet, followed inspections that revealed a hotel with sloping floors still housing guests and several other deteriorating properties. Municipal inspectors said long-term neglect and lax enforcement allowed the decay to reach a point where collapse became inevitable. Neighboring businesses and residents were evacuated after the collapse, and emergency crews worked through the night to secure the site. The city has pledged a review of enforcement protocols and will prioritize inspections of aging buildings identified as high risk. Authorities warn that many historic structures remain vulnerable until systematic remediation is undertaken. The warning underscores the urgency for city planners to address safety gaps before further incidents threaten public confidence.
Federal Finance Minister Mark Carney and Quebec Premier Christine Freichet will travel to St. John's this morning to sign a landmark agreement with the Newfoundland and Labrador government on the Churchill Falls hydroelectric project. The deal aims to resolve a decades-long dispute over water rights and revenue sharing that has divided the provinces since the 1970s. Officials say the pact includes provisions for joint management of the reservoir, a revised pricing formula, and a framework for future investments in renewable upgrades. Both leaders emphasized the importance of cooperation for regional energy security and economic growth. The signing ceremony, set for later this morning, will be attended by senior ministers from each province and is expected to pave the way for new power export opportunities across eastern Canada. The agreement also outlines a 10-year review process to ensure compliance and adaptability as market conditions evolve.
Montreal police have deployed an automatic license plate recognition camera as part of a targeted investigation, capturing vehicle details for later analysis. Marion Kate has the full story.
Police have confirmed they installed an automatic license plate recognition camera on a downtown thoroughfare as part of a focused investigation. The system records each passing vehicle's plate number, make and model, then stores the data for later cross-checking against investigative leads. Officers say the technology allows them to pinpoint vehicles linked to the case without stopping traffic. The camera operates continuously, capturing images in real time and transmitting them to a secure police database. Investigators will sift through the collected information to identify potential suspects or witnesses tied to the probe. Police say the move follows a series of vehicle-related inquiries in the neighborhood, and they expect the data to streamline follow-up interviews. No further details about the investigation have been released. Marion Kate, GMNA News, Montreal.
Protesters gathered yesterday in Blainville to block the planned expansion of the Stable's hazardous waste landfill, and the demonstration remains underway this morning. The site, owned by a U.S. firm, sits on the edge of residential neighborhoods, prompting residents to voice fears that toxic chemicals could drift into homes. Community members have set up barricades along the access road, chanting for the project to be halted while local officials weigh the proposal. Police have deployed officers to monitor the crowd, but have not reported arrests. Stable's has not responded to requests for comment. The municipality of Blainville has scheduled a public hearing on the expansion for later this month, but residents say the immediate health risk outweighs any economic arguments. Nearby schools and a senior center are among the facilities residents say could be exposed. The protest continues as authorities assess safety measures. Later we'll dive into Via Rail's new multimodal station plan in Dorval, boosting airport access, and more after the break. We will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. Yesterday, Via Rail Canada broke ground on a new multimodal railway station in Dorval, the suburb that houses Montreal Trudeau Airport. The project will tie the rail network to bus routes, the REM light rail line and other transit options, giving passengers a link to the airport without a car. Officials said the station's design will include a covered platform, ticketing hall and direct pathways to the airport's shuttle corridor. The station will sit adjacent to the existing Via Rail tracks that already serve the city's central stations, allowing travelers to board downtown and remain on board until they reach the terminal. Construction crews are slated to finish the core structure by late next year, with full service expected shortly after. Planners also intend to integrate bike share docks and a drop-off lot, encouraging multimodal trips. The initiative aims to cut travel times, ease highway congestion, and support a push toward greener mobility.
Quebec records a surge in homeless deaths, reaching at least 400 between 2020 and 2024, with women experiencing the sharpest increase. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
Between 2020 and 2024, Quebec recorded at least 400 deaths among people experiencing homelessness. The toll rose sharply, with women bearing a disproportionate share of the increase. Health authorities say the number of female deaths has climbed faster than that of their male counterparts, reflecting growing vulnerability in that segment. Officials point to a combination of factors: limited shelter space, rising housing costs, and inadequate outreach that have left many without safe places to stay. community groups report that the pandemic's lingering effects and cuts to support services have deepened the crisis. Local health agencies have flagged the trend as a public health concern. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Authorities said a woman in her 60s was killed Saturday when a van struck her on a street in Malartic. The Sûreté du Québec, Quebec's provincial police service, confirmed the fatal collision occurred in Malartic, a town in the Abitibi-Témiscamingue region. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have opened a formal investigation and are working to identify the driver of the van. No other injuries were reported, and traffic on the affected roadway was temporarily rerouted while investigators secured the area. The Sûreté du Québec remains on site, and the road closure is expected to stay in place until the on-site examination is finished. Details about the vehicle have not been released. The investigation is ongoing as officers gather evidence. The case adds to the province's ongoing focus on road safety.
Yesterday before dawn, a UQAM graduate gathered 810 volunteers to form a massive human lily on the streets of Montreal. The coordinated effort, timed for 5 a.m., was designed to meet the criteria set by Guinness World Records for the largest human lily flower. Participants, arranged in layers of petals and a central stem, held colored banners that traced the flower's shape, creating a vivid display scene from aerial drones. Organizers said the lily was chosen because it represents Quebec's heritage, and the record attempt follows a tradition of large-scale human formations used to chase world record titles. Officials from Guinness were on site to verify measurements and confirm that the formation met all guidelines. If approved, the achievement will add a new entry to the record books, highlighting Montreal's capacity for community collaboration.
Sandhill cranes will be classified as fair game this fall in 2 Quebec regions and parts of Ontario, marking the first time the species may be hunted in the provinces. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
Sandhill cranes have been reclassified as fair game for the upcoming hunting season, opening the birds to licensed shooters across 2 designated zones in Quebec and several districts in Ontario. The change, set to take effect this fall, marks the first time the species will be legally hunted in either province. Wildlife officials say the decision follows a review of population trends that suggest numbers are stable enough to sustain limited harvests. Hunters will need to obtain the appropriate permits and follow new bag limits announced by provincial ministries. The move has sparked conversation among conservation groups and local communities who are watching to see how the season unfolds. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Now let's check the morning forecast and see what the day ahead holds.
A low-pressure center, nudging upward under a blistering west, jet drives today's overcast, humid start. The all-time high for August 16th sits at 30.7 degrees, recorded in 2015 during a lingering heat wave that pushed daily maxima well into the mid-30s across the province. The record low, 11.4 degrees, fell in 2025 when an early autumn cold snap drove temperatures down sharply despite a generally warm summer. By contrast, our climate normals for this date hover around a high of 26 and a low of 17 degrees, underscoring how today's mild 24-degree peak feels well below the long-term average. On the live radar, the echo band stretches from the western hills toward the city. With the heaviest return near 7 a.m., the system is moving east-southeast at a brisk pace, guided by the fast westward jet at 167 kilometers per hour. By 9 a.m., the rain core should have slipped past the island, leaving clear skies overhead. With the precipitation now waning, the atmosphere is already stabilizing for a dry afternoon. At 7 a.m., Montreal sits under a blanket of cloud, temperature 19 degrees, humidity 98%, and a gentle southwest breeze of 8 kilometers per hour. A low-pressure center sits just east of the province, but it is nudging upward, signaling drier, more stable air on the way. Overhead, the jet stream races west at 167 kilometers per hour, slicing the atmosphere and suppressing any lingering lift that might produce rain. Consequently, no precipitation is expected through the day. Temperatures will climb to a high of 24 degrees by mid-afternoon before easing to 22 at sunset, with the UV index 5. Winds remain light, never exceeding 25 kilometers per hour, and there are no active weather alerts. Looking ahead, Monday brings a high of 24 degrees and a low of 16, overcast skies, and a 36% chance of rain as the lingering low pressure nudges eastward. Tuesday stays warm with a high of 23 and a low of 16, cloud cover persisting but no measurable rain. Wednesday shifts to mainly clear conditions, high 23, low 17, yet a 45% rain probability lingers in the northern counties where a weak frontal wave will pass. Thursday and Friday both settle under a high-pressure ridge, delivering highs of 23, lows of 16, and predominantly clear skies. The temperature swing from the early week rain to the mid-week dry stretch offers a brief but notable contrast. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's moving with delays, our guided bus tour kicks off, and Dobish lands among the NHL's top 10 goalies. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Major congestion builds in the Ville-Marie tunnel between Robert Bourassa and St. Laurent, slowing traffic in both directions. Expect delays of 15 to 20 minutes through the tunnel and on the connecting ramps. Eastbound St. Laurent remains clogged near the downtown core, with backups spilling onto Rue Saint-Denis and the adjacent expressway. Westbound traffic on the Honoré-Mercier Bridge is also slowed, as construction crews work on the western span. Drivers heading to the east side should allow extra time crossing the bridge. On Rue Saint-Urbain over the R136 Ville-Marie, a major hindrance forces a lane closure, creating a bottleneck that extends onto the adjacent streets. Minor slowdowns continue on Lacordaire Boulevard over the A40 and on Metropolitan Boulevard near Henry Bourassa, but traffic there moves at a normal pace. No transit disruptions are reported this morning. Expect conditions to improve by early afternoon as crews finish the most critical work.
The Lion King roars onto the stage at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier in Place des Arts, opening on 19 August. This Disney classic brings dazzling costumes and live vocals that make it a must-see for families and theater lovers alike. From 22nd August, soccer fans can catch the LA Galaxy face CF Montreal at Saputo Stadium, a high-energy clash that promises goals and a lively atmosphere. Fashion forward. The MAD Festival kicks off at Place des Festivals from 20th to 23rd August, showcasing cutting-edge designers, runway shows, and pop-up shops that put Montreal's style scene on the map. And right now, a guided bus tour weaves through Old Montreal, St. Joseph's Oratory, and the riverfront, offering panoramic views of the city's historic neighborhoods for anyone looking to explore on footless wheels. Whether you're into music, sport, design, or sightseeing, today's lineup has something to spark your morning. And now here's Tyler with sports.
Hockey's back on the radar and Montreal is generating serious buzz. Before a single puck drops this season, Jacob Dobish is already earning league-wide respect. NHL Network slots the Canadiens' netminder 10th among the best goaltenders in the game, validation after a stellar rookie campaign. That ranking tells you the crease in Montreal is no longer a question mark heading into the new season. Size has never stopped a Canadian from becoming great, and prospect LJ Mooney is banking on exactly that. He points to Cole Caulfield and Lane Hutson as proof the organization develops smaller players into impact NHLers. With the Canadiens also sitting in strong shape under the salary cap, the front office has room to bring talent through. No franchise in hockey turns a summer debate into appointment viewing quite like Montreal. A new retrospective series revisits the Canadiens' long tradition of leaving the captaincy open, a move that has fired up this fanbase for generations. That C on the sweater has always meant everything in this city. A big season is coming, watch this Canadiens roster closely.
Thanks, Tyler. Le Petit Pain on Rue Saint-Denis in the Plateau Mont-Royal opens its doors this week, bringing a new boutique bakery to the heart of the neighborhood. Artisan baker Marie Tremblay has crafted a menu of sourdough loaves, croissants, and other French pastries, all made with locally sourced flour and butter. The shop creates 5 full-time positions, giving fresh employment to residents and offering a high-quality, neighborhood-grown alternative to the chain cafes that dominate the area. As the smell of fresh bread drifts onto the street, it reminds us why Montreal thrives on small, passionate creators. Le Petit Pain is more than a bakery, it's a daily gathering place that celebrates our culinary heritage. Coming up, we'll explore the apple orchard's new anti-hail cannon trial and uncover sanitation challenges in Quebec's prison cafeterias.
Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Welcome back. An apple grower in Quebec tested an anti-hail cannon on August 16, 2026, aiming to protect orchard fruit from damaging hail. Jesse Cartier has the full story.
At an apple orchard in the countryside outside Quebec City, a grower has set up a test of an anti-hail cannon aimed at protecting the trees from sudden hailstorms. The device, mounted on a steel frame near the rows of trees, fires a series of rapid low-frequency bursts when a weather radar picks up hail forming in the clouds. The grower says the system is intended to disrupt hail formation before it reaches the fruit, hoping to avoid the kind of damage that can wipe out a season's harvest. The trial began on August 16, 2026, and the orchard team will monitor the results throughout the remainder of the growing season. Jesse Cartier, GMNA News, Montreal.
Quebec prison authorities report widespread sanitation failures in prison cafeterias, raising concerns about food safety and overall facility conditions. The issue adds to ongoing criticism of correctional standards. Philippe Nadeau has the full story.
Sanitation problems are spreading through the cafeterias of Quebec's correctional facilities. Inspectors have found overflowing trash bins, cracked countertops, and evidence of pest activity in several dining halls. Kitchen staff report that broken refrigeration units force food to sit at unsafe temperatures, while inadequate cleaning schedules leave surfaces coated in grime. Prison officials say the overall dilapidated state of the institutions hampers regular maintenance, and budget constraints limit the ability to replace worn equipment. Advocacy groups have long warned that such conditions jeopardize both inmate health and staff safety. The provincial authorities acknowledge the issues and say they are reviewing cleaning protocols, but concrete improvements have yet to be seen. Officials hope the upcoming audit will bring clearer standards. Philippe Nadeau, GMNA News, Montreal.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this morning. Tonight's look at the looming blue-collar strike reminded us how vital our workers are. Stay tuned for more stories tomorrow as we keep you informed and connected. From all of us at the local Sunrise, have a wonderful day.